Hello, and welcome to another Contemplative Living, where we talk about concepts to bring co- contemplative living into our everyday lives. His Holiness the Dalai Lama once said, be kind whenever possible, and it's always possible. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about kindness and being friendly and considerate. So that's our focus today, and let's get to it.
Welcome to Contemplative Living, where we view contemplations for the week to have a better understanding of our spiritual paths. This is Contemplative Living with Dave Bennett, contemplations and reflective meditations.
All right, so we're here this morning. It's a holiday weekend. I hope you're all enjoying yourself and taking care to be safe. And we're going to talk about being friendly and considerate. A lot of times we find ourselves in situations where it's hard to be friendly. It's hard to be considerate because, just look at what it's like in the airports and on the roads these days. It's quite crowded. We're all back to trying to live our lives again, and unfortunately, some of the infrastructure isn't in place to support us to do that. So it comes at us, and it can be very frustrating. But we need to maintain that level of friendliness, and so begin a practice that trains the mind to become friendly and considerate. So there's many ways that you can do this. There's many practices and opportunities, but the thing that's most important here is to start a practice within yourself, because it all begins within us, and we want to take the time to explore within ourselves and be friendly and considerate to ourselves as well, so that then we can be, compassionate and friendly to others. So how do we do that? By observing our lives like it's viewing a large tapestry on a distant wall. So project your thoughts, project your memories into this tapestry, the weaving of the tapestry, and consider yourself to be one of the fine cords or threads that runs through this tapestry, and see how it's interconnected with all the other threads that are there, and how they crisscross and they interact with each other. So unconsciously, we weave every personal experience into the tapestry. So let every experience be friendly and considerate. So, this gives us an opportunity to see the big picture. That there's this tapestry all around us, and we're but one thread. It helps us to be humble. It helps us to come back to ourselves and realize that, the world does not evolve around us. We just interact and weave amongst it. So there's another way of this, is thinking of it. In Pele, there's a word metta. And metta is a positive energy and a kindness towards others. And it's practiced as a loving kindness meditation. And the goal is to cultivate kindness for all beings, including yourself. In fact, in a metta meditation, you start by saying a mantra that to yourself, that yourself will be kind and considerate and compassionate. And there are many, many beautiful, very beautiful metta meditations that you can find on YouTube here. So, and I invite you to go explore those. But then once you do the mantra for yourself, then you do it for someone close to you. And then you do it for someone that maybe challenges you. And then you do it for the world in a whole. So you're spreading that loving kindness to yourself, your family, your community, and to the world. That's a great way to build that friendliness and that consideration within yourself so that you can then express it in your interactions and in your daily, just your daily life, and on your walk on this path. Encouraging others through positive words gives their kindness room to blossom naturally. So when we're kind to others, it allows them to be kind. When we're considerate of others, it gives them that opportunity to then be considerate. This is that sharing forward, because it's infectious. When we can become more kind, when we can be that way in our daily lives, it influences the energy around us. It influences the others that are around us. And so using that kindness, using that smile when you walk into the room helps the energy to evolve into what we really, really want is a more friendly and considerate world. And you can overlook a person's challenges. Or can you overlook a person's challenges and realize that their heart opens to loving friendliness as well? It's hard sometimes, life is just hard. And a lot of times people have challenges. We all have some foibles of one way or another. And so we need to recognize, we need to overlook just the little quirks that each and every one of us have. Now, I'm not talking about overlooking something, drastically evil or anything like that. I'm just saying overlook the little things that we all do that sometimes can be, irritating. If we can just overlook that and be friendly and recognize that, everyone is on their path and everybody is trying as hard as they can in their own way. And it may not be the way that we would do it, but that's their way of doing it. And we allow them to be who they are. And that way we can overlook and we can still be friendly and considerate, but we don't need, we don't have to walk in their shoes every day, but we can be friendly and considerate and overlook some of the little quirky things that we all tend to have something. So, stretching our capacity to become friendly and considerate sometimes requires that we sacrifice our old way of relating to the world. If we want to embrace this thought, if we want to embrace this feeling of being friendly and considerate and compassionate and have loving kindness, if we want to embrace all of that, sometimes we have to let go. Sacrifice is a hard word, but let go of some of the old ways that we relate to the world. Our worldview colors everything that we do. Our worldview, the way we view the world, can kind of overwhelm us at times. And it can influence the way we then interact with others, especially our loved ones. We can vent on our loved ones all the time. But that's not being friendly or considerate. A lot of times we have to just release some of that. Release and let go of that way of relating to the world. Instead, like His Holiness said, be kind whenever possible, because it's always possible. I hope you have a great holiday, a great summer, a great week ahead of you. And I hope that you find some little seed in our contemplative talks here on this podcast. And I hope to see you next week. You can always subscribe and press the little bell button so that you're notified when the next Contemplative Living is going live. All right? Thank you, and namaste.